A Little House in a Big Place, written by Allison Atkinson. Read to you today by Gammy. A girl lived in a little house in a little town, in the middle of a big place. Clickety-clack tracks crossed the field behind. She stood at her window and waved to the train engineer who passed every day, and she wondered about where he came from and where he went, and if someday she might go away too. The train engineer drove east through the night and west as the sun came up. He drove past many towns, but in this one town, a little girl waved at him from a house with shining colored lights. His train came over the horizon every morning. One moment there was only sky, and the next moment there would be a dot that got bigger and bigger and bigger, and the dot would become the train. Every morning the girl waved, and the engineer waved back. The train rushed and rumbled to the other side of her window and away, and became a dot, a smaller dot, an almost invisible dot. But his wave and her wave together made a home in her heart. She wondered about the engineer, riding high in the front. She wondered if he liked his uniform and his engineer's cap. Maybe he wanted to wear a cowboy hat or a suit with tails and a top hat. She didn't know his name, and he couldn't know hers. She did know that this day would be his last day driving the train. The girl stood at her window as she did every morning. Only this time, she saw something sail from the engineer's hand. She ran out from the little house, but wherever it was, the sailing something, she couldn't spot it. Instead, she found wild strawberries hidden and sweet wildflowers along the tracks. She picked some and lay in the warm-smelling prairie grass, looking up at the sky, listening to the songs of the grasshoppers chirp, and felt the whoosh of the wind. The wind whispered, "What is it?" The girl stood and let the wind push gently at her back. She let it blow and carry her farther from her little house. She could see the tiniest speck, a dot that grew and turned out to be the engineer's cap. She put it on, and it fit. Well, almost. The train still came over the horizon every morning with a different engineer. But the girl didn't always wait by the window. Sometimes she painted pictures, sometimes she danced, and sometimes she made up songs to play on her guitar. The girl grew up. She left the little house, and she left the little town, and she rode a train east to where the sun rises, disappearing into a small dot on the edge of a big sky, but ending up somewhere. The end. We have so much more to learn. You be blessed. The Yawns Are Coming by Christopher Aloud. Read to you today by Gammy.